This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2, Welcome to DBL. Thank you, David. It's Wednesday, August 18th. Happy Hump Day. I'm Tori here with Al and Jeff. Thank you. We're grateful that you're joining us. Let's get started because the war over face masks has arrived at schools across the country. Not I know, right? Not at home, if you understand what I'm talking about. The superintendent at an Austin school district said that one parent ripped a teacher's mask off her face. He said other parents yelled and verbally assaulted teachers. And in California, one parent allegedly yelled at the principal and then assaulted a teacher over mask requirements. So, how do you feel about schools and teachers becoming targets in the mask wars? Is this fair to them or to the students? I just got to say one more time to teachers out there, we are putting all of it on you all the time and not paying you appropriately. Let's just put it out there. So bravo to you if you're a teacher. Jeff, new rule with masks. You have a 2- and 4-year-old.
Yes, I shared it, maybe not on this particular show, but my kids started actually school today, preschool. They're 2 and 4.
Mazel.
And thank you. Oh, there they are. I didn't know we had the picture.
Oh,
this was taken this morning.
Look at them.
So
just seeing
Leighton.
Right, so he's 2 years old, you know, he's 2 years old. And we just got an email today saying starting on the 23rd, they're going to have to wear masks from 2 all the way up to 11. So I don't know how you get a 2-year-old to wear a mask. So I'm in this case, like, how are you going to do that? The point I'm getting at is we talk about these stories with the less than 1%. Who goes up to a teacher and abuses them or rips people's masks off their face? I'm a little perturbed that my 2-year-old has to wear a mask, but I'm not assaulting anybody. I'm not storming, putting it on social media and attacking people. I don't know. We need to really refocus our energy and be like, not everybody's like this. These are very unique stories, and this isn't the norm.
And I like you saying that. I just think masks have become this like powerful symbol of a division. It's a piece of cloth that surgeons wear every day, guys. It's going to help save your lives. What do you think, Al?
I think the mask is arbitrary. I think it would have been anything.
Yeah.
I think we happen to be in COVID, but I just think to say America is divided is not really a hot television topic. But to see that people are literally willing to die and to have other people die on this hill because people are so done with each other. Where that comes from, I don't know. The fact that it's been stoked for years with the internet is clear. But at this point, I don't think if it wasn't masks, it would be seatbelts. Yeah. If it wasn't seatbelts, it would be the flu shot. They are going to pick something. And this is masks, and this is the one time we need them. And I don't know where we go from this because people aren't being rational.
I agree with you. Let us know about your kids and masks. Also, if you didn't know, Governor of Texas, Abbott, did come down with a positive COVID test yesterday. He is sort of against masks and went maskless to a party the night before. So we are thinking of him and hope he is well.
I'm thinking of the people that he talked to at that party.
I am as well. Well, last night was the first night that people in New York were required to show proof of vaccination in order to go out, to eat indoors, to go to the gym, to visit a museum. Meantime, the Las Vegas Raiders are now requiring fans at their home games to show proof of vaccination.
What about proof of sobriety? Do you know what's going to be going on at those Vegas games?
It would be empty.
There's literally a conveyor belt that goes straight from the casino to. It's a cool stadium. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I drove by.
There's a conveyor belt?
Yes.
I like that.
It's in downtown Vegas. It's
I like
awesome.
being lazy and having it come to me. All right, these requirements are reportedly helping fuel black market in fake or forged vaccination cards. Speaking of which, check out these fake vaccination cards borders agents seized after they were shipped from China. There were thousands of them, and in Chicago, a pharmacist has been charged with selling real vaccination cards on eBay that were allegedly stolen from his work. This is obviously so stupid and annoying, but my question to you also is, why not make the vaccination cards harder to forge?
They're going to do it anyway, no matter what you do.
I guess, but it seems like an incredibly easy thing, right? Like there's not even a stamp.
It does, but it's just
there's not even a holographic.
It's just giving you like another hurdle, right? I don't know if it's necessarily supposed to stop people. It's just another hump in the road. Like, hey, we want you to vaccinate. Now you got to bring a card. It's almost like a pain. It's not even like, go ahead and if you want to take the time to forge this, go ahead. Some of you are going to get caught, but most of you, like we do every day, speed on the roads. Once in a while, you're going to get caught.
But when you speed on the roads, you're not contagious to me out there.
No. I'm not saying. I'm not comparing it to that. But I'm saying I don't think this is meant to stop people. I think it's just to be like, listen, I'm going to make your life a little bit harder.
But why aren't we making it a lot harder?
Right.
Because if you're in a place with your family, Jeff, and let's say some of your older family, and you're in a place where you had to show a card.
You would feel comfortable.
You feel comfortable. You're like, Jordan, take your mask off. And then there's somebody that's snuck in there that is not vaccinated but presented a fake card, and they get you in a vulnerable state because you are unmasked, because you are assuming when you walk into this bar that everybody is of a certain vaccination level, and somebody got sick. Now that bar's in trouble because you can sue.
But again, I don't want to talk percentages because I don't know. We don't know. What is the percentage of people getting fake vaccinations?
Well, I think it's going to go up and up and up.
I know, but it's like, what are the people that are child molesters around you, right? Like, you're going to be in a bar with a child molester.
Child molester's not
we're calling out like the 1% of people.
Well,
I promise you, I don't know anybody that knows anybody in my life that's like, hey, they got a fake vaccine card.
You will.
Well, only 50%. Only 50% of people got vaccinated, right?
Correct.
As a country. So
maybe you're right. I'm trying to
understand
to flip this,
because the people in your circle, I think that's the thing. No matter what your political affiliation is, or like most of the people in your house are probably Bears fans when they come over. That's the issue. It's like you're around people.
You need actually a card to say you're a Bears fan to come in.
You're around people that are kind of like you, so you might go, I don't know anybody that's not vaccinated. Where a lot of people go, I only know one person that is.
I know people aren't vaccinated, but I don't know people that would go to the trouble to get a fake vaccine
You will,
card.
and
I guess you're right.
It'll pass. And let me just say something. I know in Europe at least, Brandon London, our co-host, had said it's on their phone like a QR code. I'm just hoping it gets digitized so it's not like number 2 pencil and an eraser, which it feels like a little bit. Someone wrote, how much of an idiot do you have to spend $400 for a fake vaccine card when you can get a real vax for free, which I think is a good point. Very good point. Well, coming up on DBL, an all-new True Crime Chronicles. A daughter is convinced police got the wrong man in her mother's murder. How she's still searching for answers 30 years later. And this is my favorite story. This story behind a note on a woman's first date was given by a stranger. Why did the fellow diner feel the need to warn her, and what would you do?
Closed captioning provided by
Hi, DBL Nation. Happy Wednesday. It's Kelly Schuberth here with Jeff. Jeff, how's it going?
You're very colorful today, and I've been talking to you for 2 hours and just noticed.
Yeah. Very bright.
Can we open, Tiffany, I want to say something really quick. Little shout out if you can. We just had delicious burritos. Had a burrito tuck from Los Cocinas. Lisa's Cocinas.
Cucina?
Cocina.
No, it's Sophia. No, Sophia taught us how to say it.
It's not Cocina. That's Italian.
Yeah.
Cocina is Spanish.
Yeah, she taught us that. I always thought it was.
Anyway,
Cocina
delicious
too.
if you're in the Denver metropolitan area. Lily's Cocina.
All right, great.
Great advertisement.
And where is it located?
In Denver.
Great.
Downtown Denver. And it's
She has no idea.
it's by the
Travels
roads
all
and the
around.
streets.
Tori,
this area.
we have a substitute art teacher with us. What were you saying? I'm going to be filling in for
Mrs. Artsy. Rob made fun of this shirt too, so I'd say it's not a winner.
No, it's definitely a winner.
Is this not her personality?
I wasn't doing that to make. I just noticed it right now. I was like, wow.
It is very bright. It's quite.
You know
it's quite
why?
bright.
Because like you guys are both wearing black or
Art
dark colors.
teacher,
and when
you
came
nailed
out-
it though. It does look like an art teacher.
You could be a substitute teacher
Oh, I totally could.
because you're like so cheery. Like
I could never be a teacher, but I could be a substitute, maybe.
and like, hey, shut up, and you're like, hey, don't worry back there. Because you're so, like,
Kelly,
That teacher stinks.
she's not a pushover either. She's that weird combination where she's super
Yeah.
sweet.
if you push it too
Yeah,
far.
she's not a pushover though. Kelly.
No, you're right. You're right.
That
So,
South's gonna come out.
yeah, I wanted to ask you, Jeff, how is Big Brother this season? Our viewers wanted to talk about Big Brother a little bit.
Well, I'm
I find
catching
it
up.
very boring, to be honest.
I'm actually a little behind myself. We've had a lot of trips and vacations in between, so I'm a little behind. But
what would it take for you to?
yeah, let me gather my thoughts and I'll let you guys
We'll
know.
talk about it in the next break, guys, during Access.
No, I mean like next week.
Okay, well, next week. Bye, guys. Let us know.
Welcome back to DBL. You will never guess what a woman who was on a first date got from a random stranger. I'm so into this story. Cool. Thanks, guys. It was a note written on a CVS receipt that reads, "Too many red flags. Run. Be safe, girl." The woman tweeted the picture saying it was given to her by a gay man sitting behind her. She also said she noticed the red flags too, but didn't feel like she was in any danger. So I want 2 questions from you guys. A, what would you do if you received this note on a date? And 2, what would it take for you to write a note to someone else?
Very quickly, I have a question for you as well. Why are CVS receipts so long?
They're so long.
Just to put that in.
Like a scroll.
Let's just put
like a papyrus
I don't want to get away from the story, but they're way too long.
They're too long.
We could save a bunch of trees.
A lot of trees.
Right.
Go ahead, Al.
Let's get back.
Al, what would it take for you to write a note? Like, if you saw something happening, what would be the red flag? Would that person be rude to the waiter? You don't like when that is happening.
Can we be honest?
Yeah.
This like pre-Al, old school Al, depends on 2 things. How many drinks I've had, how cute they are. All right? If you're an 8.5 or above, it could be, you could put a gigantic red flag on there. I'd just move it out the way and be like, what you want to do next? Yeah, so honestly, the fact that 2 people like notice red flags.
I'm not really picking up what you're throwing down. Are you the guy at dinner or are you the guy writing the note?
I'm saying if somebody wrote that note to me, if she's real cute and I've had a couple drinks,
right.
I ain't
It doesn't
going
matter.
You're just staying?
The red flags are like, go
do
Al,
you say
go
something
Al.
to the other guy who wrote that note?
Mind your business.
No, that's good. What are you supposed to say?
What about you? Would you A, write that note, and what would it take for you to write it, and what if you got a note like that?
Is this a bad comment? I'm looking at Michael D.
Great, we're going to do it on air. Let's talk about it.
I know, I probably shouldn't, right?
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't. But knowing that the guy, I don't know if she knew or not, was gay and gave me that note, it would hold more substance than if some random guy's like, hey, buddy, here's a note. I'd be like, who's this weirdo?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
For some sort of, I'd be like, uh-oh, something's going on here.
There's an intuition.
Is that degrading in some way?
No,
Okay, good, I'm okay.
And I do want to say something about that. One of the red flags happened to be the 2 of them were arguing over the latest in DaBaby, which is a rapper. He made some really homophobic remarks at a concert. He's been somewhat canceled, taken off of other concerts. They didn't see eye to eye on that, and that flared a little ear prick from the guy behind saying, I'm not comfortable with this. Boom. And I agree with you. I would listen.
Well, let me ask, we're 2 guys over here, and obviously we do have some physicality in terms of like being able to fight up. But if somebody sends you a note like that, your physical as well as your mental health could be in danger. So what do you do in that situation?
Well, A, I super appreciate it. It may be different for you guys because you're like, get out of my way, because it's like blocking you. For a woman, any type of help or heads up or a red flag or a wink wink or I got you, do you want to come over to my car is really helpful. It can save you. 2, if I don't agree, I'll throw it out, but it's always going to be seen as a positive. And then 3, I would write that note.
I feel like
I would write that note, and mostly if that girl goes,
you totally would.
I would,
write that
and
note.
here's why. If
and
the
I would
person,
totally throw it away.
I know you would throw it away. If the person went to the bathroom and I heard them talking meanly about them, or they were rude to the waiter or staff, I would write that
But
note.
here's, oh, sorry, man. We got it. Like we're running out of time. But to intrude on someone else's political beliefs, whatever it may be, and then intrude because you don't believe that. That could have been your future husband, and now he gone.
But he heard she disagree with him too.
But I think we're talking about
guys,
social. I thought we were talking about like we felt like this girl was in physical danger, like do not get in the car.
No.
Not this guy's a jerk, potentially.
No, it was more like I see red flags, not like they're in danger.
Okay.
The story gets a little deep.
I don't know if you need to run. I would just leave a note like you can do better.
Interesting. Nice. Okay, compromise. Coming up on DBL, a daughter seeks answers in her mother's murder. This is 30 years later. Was the wrong person arrested? That's in today's True Crime Chronicles, and it's coming up next.
These images and videos have surfaced recently. They claim to show scenes from the Taliban's rush to seize power in Afghanistan, but not all of them are connected to current events. So let's walk through what's real and what's not. Our sources include InVid, a video forensics tool, RevEye, a reverse image search tool, Google Maps, the United States Air Force, and Pacific Air Forces. This video was shared across Facebook more than 60,000 times. The post claims it was taken in Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, and shows the Taliban taking over the presidential palace. But our sources show that is false. Using InVid, Verify isolated frames and was able to confirm the footage was actually taken in the Syrian city of Idlib. We know that because the same footage can be seen at 1 minute and 15 seconds into this YouTube video. And that footage was taken in 2015 amid unrest in Syria. So we can verify this as false. The video was not taken in Kabul. Next up, there's a lot of confusion about these two photos, both posted to Twitter. Both photos claim to show people being airlifted from a Kabul airport, but our sources say that's not true. So let's clear this up. On Sunday, during the rush to evacuate people from Afghanistan, a U.S. military cargo plane did transport around 640 Afghan citizens to Qatar. That's what you see in this photo on the right, taken by U.S. Air Force. But Verify used RevEye and found the photo on the left isn't from Kabul. We tracked that picture back to Pacific Air Force's website. PACAF is a U.S. Air Force Major Command Center headquartered in Hawaii. The site confirms this picture was actually taken in the Philippines on November 17, 2013, and shows people being evacuated to Manila following Super Typhoon Haiyan. So we can verify. The photo on the right is from Kabul, but the photo on the left is not. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
Welcome back to DBL. Who really killed Effie Entezari? It's been more than 30 years since she was murdered, and her daughter is on a quest to find out once and for all who would want to kill her mother. That's in today's True Crime Chronicles.
She had a life, and someone took that away.
Pune Gray will never forget May 1st, 1989. Her life would forever be altered in ways she would never have imagined.
There has not been one day that's gone by since my mom's murder that I haven't thought about her and this case.
Pune's mother, Effie Entezari, left for work like she had done so many mornings before. It was just before 6 a.m. She was approached by someone in the parking lot and shot in the head at point-blank range. A neighbor reported seeing a yellow car speed out of the parking lot shortly after Effie's murder. No other witnesses reported anything to the authorities.
This was a premeditated, highly calculating homicide.
A man was arrested and charged with the murder of Effie. That man just happened to be Mike Entezari, Effie's husband and Pune's father. Mike and Effie were going through a divorce. Mike had no alibi, and worse yet, a gun, the same type of gun that killed Effie, was found in Mike's car. A jury found him guilty of the murder of his wife. He ended up serving 16 years of a 25-year sentence behind bars until his death in 2019. Mike had always maintained his innocence.
It was not a fact-based trial. It was just a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Pune hired a team of lawyers, private investigators, forensic examiners in an attempt to find the real killer or killers. She will never stop fighting for justice and exonerating her father. Pune wants to know once and for all who killed Effie Entezari. They point to a lack of physical evidence against Mike Entezari. Mike didn't drive a yellow car like the one seen speeding away from the scene, and investigators never found evidence of Effie's blood on Mike's clothing or in the barrel of his gun. Pune believes one of the biggest pieces of evidence that could alter this case is DNA. Samples found on Effie's clothes years after her murder, thanks to DNA advancements.
There was a mixture. There were multiple individuals' DNA on the sweater and the DNA that was collected. The predominant DNA that we found is from the person who we believe is the shooter.
Will this new DNA evidence be the smoking gun of this case 32 years later? Will Pune be able to overturn her father's conviction and keep the promise she made to her mother? Will there ever be closure?
I've never had a doubt that I'm going to get the person that killed my mom.
A daughter's love for her mother knows no bounds. This story is truly heartbreaking. Earlier, Alan Sam spoke with podcast host Ashley Korslin for the latest on this case. Take a look. And we are here with the Yellow Car podcast host, Ashley Korslin. Ashley, by the way, is also an award-winning journalist and longtime KGW anchor. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to DBL.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here to talk about the case.
Why did you think that this was a good topic, that this case specifically would be a good fit for your podcast?
Well, the case itself is compelling, but honestly, I would say it was Pune, the couple's daughter, at the center of this case. We are talking about someone who spent 32 years of her own life working on her mom's murder investigation, despite the fact that her dad went to prison. And the fact that she has spent more than $1 million, close to $2 million at this point, on a team of lawyers and investigators, to me was really compelling. And I thought, you know, there must be something else here if she hasn't been able to let this go 3 decades later.
Wow.
Right. Well, speaking about 3 decades later, if this same case happened today, what do you think would happen?
I would think at the very least, the investigation perhaps would have been done differently when you think about advancements in DNA technology that we have today that we didn't have. Back in 1989, DNA was in its infancy. Today, there would also be a lot of things done differently, I believe, with ballistics and how they examine and compare an evidence bullet to a gun. Now, as for the verdict and the outcome, it's hard to say what the evidence would have shown and whether a jury still would have convicted Mike.
Speaking of Mike Antazari, why was he found guilty?
I believe came down to the ballistics portion. When you have a state ballistics expert saying this bullet was fired from this gun, Mike's gun, to me, that's what really sealed the deal for the jury.
Panay found some strange occurrences leading up to her mother's death. You know, maybe that's why she hasn't been able to let this go. So can you tell our audience, what were they?
Yeah, so when Effie and Mike were separated, Effie had lived in her own apartment complex at the time of her death, and neighbors had eventually reported to police that there were some really strange occurrences, fights in her apartment at odd hours of the night, unknown men who were there. Effie seemed upset. The most striking thing was perhaps the medical examiner, when they did the autopsy, found bruising all over Effie's body, and the bruising had been there for some time, so that meant it was unrelated to the murder. Things that you couldn't really explain, and Mike was never tied to any of that activity. The daughter, Panay, goes, look, my mom was being threatened. Somebody wanted to silence her. She knew something, and people were hurting her. And that's the thread line throughout this series that really kept her going, is that there were just too many strange things happening to just explain away that my dad killed my mom.
Wow, Ashley, I just pray that your podcast, her and her 3 decades worth of research, somehow provides answers for her. How likely is it that prosecutors will reopen this case?
The sheriff's office did confirm to me they do have a detective actively working this case. So that to me was a little peek behind the curtain on, okay, they're looking into this. It's not like they're just brushing it off. I think at this point they're not able to speak publicly about what they have discovered and what they're going to do moving forward.
Wow. Unbelievable. I really do hope that they reopen the case, just personally. Ashley, thank you so much for being on DBL's True Crime Chronicles and for bringing this case to light. You can check out DBL Nation, The Yellow Car, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. Make sure that you listen. And thank you again, Ashley. We'll be right back.
Thanks, you guys, for having me. Appreciate it.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The Verify team is here to make sure that you're only getting the facts when it comes to the recent events in Afghanistan. Take posts like this. The U.S. funded, trained, and armed Taliban to fight the Soviets, wrote one person. So let's verify. Did the U.S. government directly fund the Taliban? Here are our sources. Benjamin Hopkins, a professor of history at the George Washington University. Charles Dunbar, a retired ambassador who worked in Afghanistan in the 80s for the State Department. Mike Lyons, a military analyst. And this report from the Congressional Research Service.
There are linkages, but it's not a direct line.
According to Hopkins, in December of 1979, the Soviet Union sent troops to Afghanistan to protect a communist government. Those troops remained in the country for a decade. Hopkins says that in response, the CIA began sending money through the Pakistani government to the Mujahideen, a group of Islamic militants that were fighting the Soviets. It was deemed Operation Cyclone.
That Operation Cyclone started out very small until finally to the point where it was literally billions and billions of dollars.
This was confirmed by a Congressional Research Service report stating that a total of about $3 billion was given to the Mujahideen from 1980 to 1989, according to the State Department. So how does the Taliban play into all this? Well, according to our experts, the group first began to form in 1994, so money never went directly to the Taliban.
There is a story of Americans arming an anti-Soviet insurgency, some of whom then go on to become part of what will be the Taliban.
Some U.S. funds went to supporting the Mujahideen, who had generally the same point of view as the Taliban.
But any sort of direct linkage, U.S. arming the Mujahideen in the 1980s supports the Taliban in the 2000s, is incorrect.
So we can verify that false. The U.S. government never directly funded the Taliban, but they did support the Mujahideen fighters in the 1980s. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back to DBL. Did you know your vaccine status could affect your income? We're chatting about it on today's Bang for Your Buck presented by The Hartford. To cover health costs, more and more companies are considering charging higher insurance premiums for their unvaccinated staff. This means your employer could pocket an extra $50 per paycheck if you're unvaccinated. That's an extra $1,300 each year. This is one of the many reasons why you should talk to your doctor about getting vaccinated against COVID-19. And for quality and affordable insurance, the Buck's got your back. The Hartford will be happy to provide you solutions. Call the Hartford at 1-800-684-6085 or visit thehartford.com to learn more. Interesting. Good to know. Someone wrote in, I just want to say, Sharon Fisher, thank you. She says, my take on fake vaccines. Anyone caught, $10,000 fine, 6 months in jail. If I had it my way, $25,000 fine, 1 year in prison. Very strong.
Nice,
well, that's contagious. She's worried. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.